This is why Pakistan's credibility is at stake in China's massive $58 billion investment. A 3,000-kilometer-long track connecting Kashgar and the Gwadar port has been approved by China Railway Survey. This project will be the most expensive one under the Belt and Road Initiative. It is speculated that China's Gwadar to Kashgar $58 billion railway project will be less dependent on the West. China's groundbreaking railway project is currently under construction that will connect China and Pakistan, reducing China's dependence on Western trade. Despite its high cost, the concept was judged worthwhile after being examined by the state-owned China Railway First Survey and Design Institute Group Company Limited. The 1,860-mile train system, which will link China's Xinjiang Uygur Autonomous Province to Pakistan's port city of Gwadar, could have an impact on both trade and geopolitics, the proposal's review board claims. In a study that was earlier this month, published in the Chinese journal Railway Transport and Economy, a team of analysts from China recommended that the government and financial institutions should provide strong support, increase coordination and collaboration among relevant domestic departments, strive for the injection of support funds, and provide strong policy support and guarantees for the construction of this project. Although China Railway First Survey and Design Institute Group Company Limited contributed to the construction of Indonesia's Jakarta-Bandung high-speed rail line, Asia's first high-speed rail system, this would be the country's largest transportation project to date. According to the South China Morning Post, the new railway that links China to Pakistan is expected to encourage the development of other train networks that might link China to Turkey and Iran, greatly enhancing direct access to these areas. This trade project is a component of Beijing's larger Belt and Road project, which aims to make China a worldwide superpower and advance trade dominance. To better advance China's economic objectives and promote a multipolar world in order to weaken the power of the West, the effort is aimed at redirecting attention away from historically Western-dominated trade channels. Leading autocratic states like Russia and Iran have been keen to support this approach as geopolitical tensions with the West continue to rise. A strategy has been developed to connect every city in Pakistan to the new railway lines as part of CPEC. Construction of the Kunjarab to China railway line is mostly driven by trade. However, a lot of travelers will view this railway line from a tourism perspective. Without a doubt, this will be a fantastic project for Pakistan in terms of tourism. However, the project's primary goal is to boost trade between Pakistan and China, to carry oil and gas from the port of Gwadar to Kashgar city in the Xinjiang Uygur Autonomous Region of northwest China, as well as trade in other commodities. There is a 3,000-kilometer network of roads, ML1 railways, and pipelines. Let's explore in greater detail how Pakistan has benefited from and will be impacted by various projects with China in the past and in the future. The projected China-Pakistan Railway will run from the Pakistan port of Gwadar to the Chinese city of Kashgar in the Xinjiang Uygur Autonomous Region. Welcome to the thriving port city of Gwadar in the Baluchistan region of Pakistan. However, this is not any ordinary port city. It serves as the project's beginning point for the China-Pakistan Railway. This ambitious project seeks to build a 3,000-kilometer railway line from Gwadar to Kashgar in China's Xinjiang Uygur Autonomous Region. It was not an easy task to build this railway line. It's a difficult task due to the steep, rocky terrain, severe weather, and safety considerations. The economy and geopolitics of the region will be significantly affected by this railway line once it is finished. Bypassing the South China Sea and the Strait of Malacca, it will offer a more direct path for Chinese goods to travel to Europe. Pakistan's infrastructure and trade with China will both benefit from it. Gwadar Port will develop into a significant commercial hub linking China's western regions to the Arabian Sea. Additionally, It will offer travelers a quicker and more convenient way to travel between Pakistan and China. The railway project between China and Pakistan is more than just a railway. It stands for the economic connectedness and collaboration between the nations that were formerly connected by the Silk Road. We are eager to witness it in action. The modest city of Gwadar, which is located on the edge of a body of azure water, is now prepared to alter not only its own destiny, but also that of the entire region. It is clear from the rapidly progressing construction projects that Gwadar port will soon function as the primary shipping hub. It will be crucial to the region's trade. As we approach Gwadar, the traditional Bulak phrase, Vish a te, is visible everywhere. Why not smile? Since the beginning of the SPEC project in 2013, Gwadar has successfully overcome significant obstacles like poverty, urban issues, water, electricity, employment, infrastructure, and agriculture, gradually and constructively transforming them in relation to the blue economy. Gwadar has experienced destruction and just destruction in the past. Gwadar has been improving steadily over the past 10 years. The China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, or CPEC, is a 3,000-kilometer-long network of pipelines, railroads, and highways starting in Kashgar. It begins in the city of Kashgar in the Xinjiang region of northwest China and extends to the summit of the Himalayas before descending to the Arabian Sea, particularly to Gwadar in southern Pakistan. For the growth of China's western area, it links Pakistan's strategy and future with China's. This project's goal is to draw attention to Pakistan's significance as a crossroads for regional trade, and its main objective is to advance the Pakistani economy. This covers initiatives for energy cooperation and investment, as well as the development of infrastructure at the Gwadar port and the Gwadar airport. Additionally, the 1,300-kilometer Karakoram highway upgrade is the most significant project. Its goal is to construct the highest, most durable, and environmentally friendly international road, which will link China and Pakistan via the Karakoram Mountains and conclude at Gwadar port. However, the game does not end at the Gwadar port. It will continue by sea to the Middle East, Africa, and Europe. The China-Pakistan Economic Corridor will not only benefit China and Pakistan, but will also have a positive impact on the region, including Iran, Afghanistan, and Central Asian countries. Now let's discuss some of the great projects between Pakistan and China. Mega Project. It's one of the largest, most ambitious infrastructure projects the world has ever seen, but it goes mostly ignored, at least in the West. The extensive partnership between China and Pakistan may have far-reaching geopolitical repercussions in addition to drastically altering Pakistan. The huge network of projects known as the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, or CPEC, are spread out across Pakistan with the goal of strengthening links between the two nations. Road and rail connections, power plants, dams, fiber optic cables, pipelines, and even Pakistan's first metro line in Lahore are among these. While Pakistan hopes the CPEC will be a game-changer in transforming the nation and assisting in the alleviation of many issues such as poverty, water, and energy shortages, China wants to be able to move its goods quickly and effectively through Pakistan to its ports, and it appears to be a win-win scenario. However, critics claim that the already impoverished Pakistan is in a bit of a debt trap due to the conditions, which are heavily biased in favor of Chinese interests. Silk Road Economic Belt. We should probably start by discussing the Silk Road Economic Belt and the 21st century Maritime Silk Road before turning our attention to the CPEC. Launched by the Chinese government in 2013, this international development initiative seeks to dramatically enhance commercial and transportation linkages with approximately 70 nations. It is a means of facilitating the smooth movement of goods out of China and around the globe. The economic belt is a land route that includes the nations that are located along what was formerly the Silk Road, including Russia, Mongolia, Kazakhstan, Iran, Turkey, as well as many other countries, including several European countries. The Maritime Silk Road is a marine endeavor, as one could guess from the name. It includes practically all of the nations in Southeast Asia, as well as India, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Kenya, and many other nations. Consolidating maritime routes and upgrading port and transportation infrastructure are both goals in these new countries. $1 trillion or so is thought to be the approximate cost of the complete, still-in-progress Belt and Road project. In order to put that kind of sum into perspective, just 16 nations in the world have economies that are worth more than $1 trillion. It is a staggering sum of money, so you won't be surprised to learn that the project has faced a lot of criticism for things like unfair repayment plans, corruption, and a lack of transparency. Before getting into the background and details, let's take a moment to quickly review the CPEC. The history of the CPEC. The notion of an economic corridor first came up in the 1950s, and this eventually led to the collaborative building of the Karakoram Highway, also known as the China-Pakistan Friendship Highway, which was completed and made accessible to the general public in 1986. Just a random fun fact for you, it was one of the highest paved roads in the world and is also home to the highest ATM. It is sometimes referred to as the eighth wonder of the world because of how high it is and how challenging it was to create the road. Still, it was a remarkable accomplishment, and we'll talk about it in more detail in a moment. Plans for the economic corridor started to surface in 2013, but it wasn't until 2014 that the Chinese government declared its intention to move through with what was described as a $45.6 billion energy and infrastructure project. After taking office in 2015, Chinese leader Xi Jinping became a major factor behind the project. Moreover, a $46 billion agreement was signed the same year to start the project, which was equivalent to about 20% of Pakistan's GDP at the time. Gwadar. Perhaps unsurprisingly, as it's one of the end destinations of the route, the city of Gwadar has seen significant investment from the corridor. Rail projects. However, goodwill travels across Pakistan in other ways besides by road. Long in need of an upgrade, much of the nation's outdated rail infrastructure was constructed by the British and dates back to 1861. The entire Main Line 1 between Karachi and Peshawar is scheduled to be rebuilt. This project's initial estimated cost was $8.2 billion, but the Pakistani government has now reduced the amount of money China is contributing to the project by $2 billion. It is anticipated that trains will be able to travel along Main Line 1 at speeds of about 250 kilometers per hour, or 160 miles per hour. A significant renovation will also be made to Main Line 2, a 1,254-kilometer route that runs between Khatri and Attock in northern Punjab. The plan to construct an entirely new line that would essentially follow the Karakoram Highway through the 4,693-meter-high Kunjarab Pass is one of the several rail projects, and it is possibly the most ambitious. The Chinese and Pakistani rail systems would effectively be connected by this. Nevertheless, despite numerous studies on the 682-kilometer proposed route, it appears as though it has dropped down the CPEC pecking order. It is unclear if that will ever happen, though it is likely not going to be, as the metro line will be 27.1 kilometers long and have 26 stations. The future. Now, trust us when we say that, despite the length of this video, we have only just begun to scratch the surface of what has been planned for this massive economic corridor. With the potential to fundamentally reshape Pakistan, this must be considered one of the world's largest megaprojects in terms of scope. There are a few very obvious flaws in this great scheme, and you can see them in a lot of the build-in road initiatives. Although loan repayments are typically low, it's difficult to predict what kind of economic impact they might have on the nation in 20 or 30 years. These accords are viewed with mistrust by first world countries all across the world, and this distrust is probably well-founded. But as we already mentioned, it also appears to result from the status quo being questioned. There's a chance that the United States and Europe won't govern the world forever, and that will inevitably cause conflict because other countries won't give up their share of the pie. But it's really kind of hard not to admire it if we just think of this as one of the biggest collections of infrastructure projects the world has ever seen. For better or for worse, the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor will radically alter Pakistan's infrastructure, including its access to power and water, as well as its road and rail networks. There will never be another country like this one. The $58 billion railway project that China wants to build to link the port of Gwadar in Pakistan with Kashgar in western China is expected to transform trade and geopolitics in the area and beyond. Both nations have praised the initiative, which is a part of China's Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI, for its potential to improve their bilateral ties and have a larger impact. Although it is too soon to predict what this project might start, the fact that it is even being discussed demonstrates China's confidence in Pakistan. Furthermore, it disproves any claims that China may not be interested in increasing its investments in Pakistan due to political and security concerns, and serves as clear evidence of the close ties between the two nations. With the proposed rail project, the connection between China and Pakistan is poised to reach a new level, which will have a significant impact on the growth and stability of Balochistan. As it opens a new chapter in their diplomatic and economic ties, this is an undeniable significant turning point for both nations. That's all. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and ring the bell icon to get more videos.